Yo, what is going on, guys? Freaky Trades here, bringing you another new weekly stock watch list. Before we get started, don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. We'd really appreciate it with the channel growing over time. But let's go ahead and get started. So it is a pretty short watch list, so we're just gonna go dive right into it. So as far as earnings go, really not much going on, guys. It is pretty dead. Most of our tech stocks earnings are out of the way. There really isn't much left to really worry about, which is good. For the meantime. So I'm sure there's a few things here and there on our watch list and our rotational watch list that we like to trade from time to time that probably have earnings coming up, but I didn't see anything of that sort, so nothing to really much worry about. GameStop could be a big one, for all the herbs out there, for all the noobs who want to keep watching GameStop for some reason and keep losing money. Be my guest, I'm not gonna be a part of it. So nothing as far as earnings go, so that's a pretty good sign. And then of course, the thing that you guys are all waiting on is the actual watch list. So as far as ES goes, let me go ahead and show you guys what I got on this. We're in a tough spot. There really isn't too much going on here. Granted, we did get the sell-off on Friday, which the thing with sell-offs, even when we do have rallies in the market, is that it leaves us no room for the next day or even over the weekend. It gives us no room left to really trade. I don't want to say that it's not certain that we don't have anything to trade, but it gets a little choppy because we either need to see a continuation, or if we get a sell-off in this instance, most of the times you're going to get some sort of buying opportunity for ES and NQ. It's not like that all the time. Like I said, it can always continue, but this is always something to be wary of and keep an eye out for. So as far as ES goes, I'm going to keep it pretty simple. We obviously did wick above 5,400. All I'm going to be looking at for ES is 5,400. I'm going to keep it simple. It is the weekend, so we're not sure how this is going to move going into tomorrow on Monday. So my plan is just to keep things simple, and then when Monday comes around, you guys should be following Nor, and then Nor will give you guys updates and see what ES and NQ are up to, or maybe even some trade ideas in the morning on his Trade Like Nor page on Instagram or Twitter. So for the meantime, I'm just going to keep it pretty simple with ES, with just looking at that. Next up is NQ, and pretty much it's the same whole situation with NQ. Is if I put this on the daily, you guys will see how choppy and ugly this whole area is between 18,000 and 19,000. It's just a bunch of trading in this area. There's really no clear resistance or support anywhere. So for the meantime, I'm going to let NQ develop a little bit more, and I'm just going to be watching the psychological level at 18,000. So going to keep it pretty simple and seeing if NQ gets any sort of bounce going into tomorrow. If it keeps gapping down, if it gaps up, we'll see. Who knows? My job isn't to predict where the market's going to go. My job is to execute with what's presented in front of me. And for the meantime, there really isn't too much. So I'm going to keep things pretty simple with this watch list and not go too crazy on certain setups. So like I said, it is a pretty short watch list. Not too much that I'm going for here. First thing on my watch list is coin. Now, a lot of people hate coin because of how bad the spreads can be, but currently on the daily time frame, I did have a level at this on 145 after we sold off at 160 on Thursday going into Friday. So my whole plan with this is I'm really just looking at the 145 level. Not too much going on here. I'm going to keep things pretty simple on this. Like I said, with where the market's situation is currently at, my plan is to keep things simple. Now, granted, coin doesn't necessarily move with the market entirely. Obviously, it does get affected with crypto to some extent, but with crypto affecting this as well, the only direction left to really look at this is the lows. So I'm going to be looking at 145 with the room down to 140, which is the next level that I would play on coin. But after that, I really don't have too much going on, and I don't want to dive too deep into it. So because like I said, market can gap down over the weekend, or where the market's currently at, anything can happen. So there's no point in me putting extra work and effort into these levels if, with the chance that something could happen. So going next after coin is NVDA. NVDA here is actually the most interesting stock. I want to say it's the most A+ setup, but it is the most interesting. So I'm looking at the low here at 101. The low here on Friday was around 190, it looks like. What was the low on this candle exactly? 195. So essentially 101 is what I'm going to be looking at on this 101 into 100. Now, a lot of people would say, isn't 100 really congested and choppy area? It is, but with the weakness that the chip market has had overall, and with NVIDIA being the leader, like the lead factor behind all of that, it's going to be a good thing to watch this and see what kind of weakness and momentum it can keep going past 101 into 100, and see if we can get those lows that we got back from when Japan had that whole interest rate issue going on. and then everything started dying. So Gonna keep things pretty simple on NVIDIA. I'll be watching 101 with room down to 100. And then after that, for the people in the chat, you guys will know what kind of move that'll be. So it'll be a crazy move on that one for sure. So that is my plan with NVIDIA right there. And then last but not least is SMCI. So you can see we had 2 chip stocks and then coin. So not too much going on. Surprisingly, Meta and Tesla are not on the watch list. Meta's kind of in no man's land, and in Tesla as well. Tesla's in no man's land as well, meaning there just aren't any like good or certain levels that I would want to enter with my regular size, which, with me sizing up recently, trying to take more serious, more quality setups, that comes with being more picky. Don't see anything of that sort. These are the setups that I see to be the most relevant. SMCI obviously selling off way ahead of all these chip stocks as well. It's just another chip stock to keep an eye out for. AMD could be one to look out for. I didn't include it in this watch list because it is pretty far away from the levels that I'm interested on, but I would keep an eye out for AMD around the 130 or even between the 120 area if we get the continuation of a sell-off this entire week with the chip sector. So just a stock out there for you guys to look at. But with SMCI here, same story. I'm going to be looking at these lows and seeing what kind of momentum I can keep getting on this with SMCI. Contracts are a lot better. With the spreads, they haven't been as too bad. Now, obviously, with the pullbacks, those are still going to hurt. SMCI is a stock that you guys should all still size either light, or if you're newer, shouldn't even trade it. Maybe it's a good stock to get some price action and screen time in to observe and see how the contracts move, how the stock moves, how both things move side and side accordingly, and how it moves with the market indexes being NQ and ES. So as far as SMCI goes with levels, all I'm looking at is the low at 382.80, so essentially 383, and then after 383, I have room down at 380. So this stock is starting to sell off now. It is important to keep an eye out for, especially with all the fraudulent earnings reports that are surrounding SMCI at the current moment. So that is something to keep an eye out for too. Potential, it's not certain, it's not 100%, but that's the news circulating around SMCI recently and why it got the heavy drop these past 2 weeks. So, but yeah. That is it for the Sunny Stock watch list, guys. Like I said, it's pretty short. It's going to keep things pretty simple going forward. There wasn't too much that I could cook up for you guys. I'm not going to force setups either, so that's my job. It's not to force anything, give you guys the best quality setups that are presented to us at the current moment. So with that much more being said, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. We would really appreciate it. Stock Hours would love you guys a lot for that one. And with that much more being said, you guys have a good rest of your weekend, and then hope you guys kill it on the week. Peace out.